And as we're talking about naturalness, this seemed to be a perfect opening read. It says, finding yourself is not how it really works. You aren't a $10 bill that was lost in a winter coat. You're not lost. Your true self is right there, buried under all the cultural conditioning, other people's opinions, and inaccurate conclusions you drew as a child and as an adult that became your beliefs as to who you are. Finding yourself actually is returning to yourself. An unlearning, an evacuation, an excavation, a remembering of who we really are before the world got its hands on us. I thought that was so perfect as I was reading through again this morning this conversation about finding our natural state, finding our natural selves, embracing that which we were before the conditioning. And thank goodness for some of the conditioning too, right? We've got to learn certain things. We've got to learn that the iron is hot. Portugal, welcome, Liz. So glad to have you here. There's some survival aspects, particularly in our world today. Some dynamics of, I've learned to and practice, and I would suggest this practice for everybody, to eliminate bad and good from my vocabulary and look at it more as shadow or the opposite of love, the opposite of light. Oh, you're back in California. Perfect. And there are things that are not good happening on this planet. And we all know that. And some of that creates this condition within us, this, particularly those that are extremely connected and empathetic. They feel so many energies of what's happening on the planet. It's hard to not allow for that to keep us trapped. And particularly on an individual level, on a focusing on myself, inherently looking at my own path, my own journey. When we look within and we look at the programming that's been placed upon us, if we can do so without judgment, it's easier to release. It's easier to move into a more fluid state. But the goal, I'm pretty convinced, on this planet is not to always be in alignment. Those people that are called to be the enlightened ones, the holy individuals on this planet, you'll know if that's you, and you'll know when it's time. Odds are you would already know. Welcome, Violet. Welcome, everybody. So glad you're here. Today's topic is that your natural state, finding your natural self. The card that we pulled from this oracle deck of the Wisdom Keepers, which is based on the Gene Keys. Violet, you're out in New York. That's amazing. The card that was pulled for today's topic, and hopefully it resonates with a lot of you as we dive into it, is naturalness. I love seeing all these familiar faces and new faces popping in. Thank you for being here. So, yeah, it's a beautiful card, isn't it? Let me read what this card's context is really bringing to us. It says, "My gift to you. I see you striving to discover who you are. And I know how difficult it can be to answer this deeply human question. Feels like an almost impossible question at times. While you are searching for yourself, don't forget to enjoy the journey." Which brings me back to the point that I was making, which is I think we're here, I know we're here for the human experience. And if we're here for the human experience, to give a lightness of being for our journey on our way to discovering that natural self, on our way to finding that lightness of being, if we can embrace that which feels dense or that which we used to judge, it keeps it light the whole time. And we can really start to unlearn this programming of seriousness and taking this life so serious. While you're searching for yourself, don't forget to enjoy, be in joy during your journey. There will be a time when you can just let it all go. In the end, you are not what you do or what you know. You are not your thoughts, feelings, or your beliefs. Nor are you your looks or job descriptions. Over time, as truth sinks in and you stop arguing with your life, you will find yourself becoming more grounded, centered, and filled with joy. More relaxed, free, and at ease. Whatever is in your heart, whatever you're meant to do or express, will simply arise out of you with naturalness. I am here to remind you that you are far more splendid than your mind could ever grasp. And your authentic nature is destined to bloom and contribute to the magnificent garden of which we are all a part of. Graciously take a bow, get out of your own way, and let it happen. I'm a big fan of interaction, so if some of you are there and you're sitting and you're listening or you're taking notes, I'd love to know in the comments or from the hearts, however you want to express it. I guess it'd be hard to express this with heart, but nonetheless, you can send love if you are resonating with the question itself. What would your life look like? What would your life look like if you trusted your natural state? And I personally believe some of us, if not all of us, at some point in time knows what that natural state feels like. When you're dropped into a current and present moment completely, and you have been so engaged maybe with someone else, or in an activity, or in art, or in writing, or in a walk, or in meditation, or in yoga. You just drop in and you can feel every cell of your body. You can feel that infinite power from the present moment that is coming through you. You can hear those voices that are speaking to you subtly and softly, and you just move from believing into knowing. Welcome, Holly from LA. You move from believing into knowing. If not for just a moment. What would your life look like? What would the world look like if just this room of 60, 70 people moved into an implicit trust of a natural state of self? Be a lot more of this in the world, right? This love. Tammy, I'm so happy this is resonating with perfect timing. Thank you, Dorothy, for your comment. Violet says, I was sitting outside in nature before coming back in the house and jumped into this live session. Perfect timing. Thank you, Violet. So happy you're here. Freedom from fear, yeah. That's right, Patricia. What is your natural state? I feel as though I really tune in to glimpses of a natural state if I search for it between the breath. As I'm inhaling, focusing on the inhale and then that pause. And at the start of that pause, I find almost like that freedom where there is no thought, there is just presence. Through that focus of a singular thing known as breath, the life-giving gift of breath, and as I seek out the breath, it tunes my mind into singularity of that breath. And then right at that pause, just for a second, what does this natural state have to share with you? Maybe it's helpful to look at the opposite of a natural state, naturalness. Again, for those that might be new, I pull from different decks, different card decks all the time. This happens to be from the Wisdom Keepers, and we're talking about naturalness. And the Wisdom Keepers bases their oracle deck off of the Gene Keys. Super interesting book about how we're coded. What is our code? It ties into human design and is also based off the 64 I Ching. Fascinating book. I don't always pull from this, but when I do, I really love diving deep into it. So the opposite, the shadow of this gift of naturalness, when I am not in the gift and I am seeing these states of being that are not congruent with my natural state, it's referenced as shadow. And we all know the consequences of shadow, and we know what we do as human beings in our judgment around shadow, and we call it good or bad. In dogma and in religions, we reference it as evil or godly. Thank you, Richard. I'll read this here in a second. And as I have danced and played with plant medicines and taken massive quantum leaps into what I guess you would reference as other dimensions, the behind the veil, if you will, and been taken on these incredible journeys, as many of you have experienced through meditation, or maybe you've done psychedelics as well. Seeing behind the veil, you see those other layers to this entire game. And what is so interesting is, as I have sat with councils and things and beings and deities and great teachers and holy individuals and you name it. It's not always what I would define as simple to digest, but downloads that I've received, and trying to articulate it in particularly English is not always the easiest thing. But what I know, not what I believe anymore, but what I know for myself is shadow is merely the absence of light. And when I have consciously, as often as possible, worked on eliminating judgment of good and bad, of other, of self, and just recognized and had awareness and a love, an affinity almost for the shadow state, I no longer cling to shadow. I no longer live in naivety around a state of being, and it's just who I am. It's just the way I react. I get to dance and play in this and see how shadow shows up in my life so that I can recognize the gift that comes out of shadow. Things like the shadow of naturalness, this 10th gene key, is self-obsession. For those that had a chance to join us Monday night, and just for those that are usually here with me in the mornings, I know I've done a couple of weeks of Monday mornings, and I've decided to move Monday talks to the evening, and then keep Wednesday and Friday in the mornings, because Monday evenings are the easiest for me. So come join me in the Monday evening. But as I was talking on Monday evening, I was talking and referencing about this idea of embracing the message from the shadow, because usually those that are doing what we would call bad in our world, when we are judging ourselves according to bad and good, it is simply the ignoring or the attention, too much attention on things like myself. Fear can serve us greatly. It can protect us from the snake, the tiger, the bear. That's what fear was structured for, was survival. However, in today's world, fear is utilized way too often, and it actually is a selfish state of being. It is a sign that I am living, not judging selfishness. We all are inherently in that state. We can't avoid that right now. Now, hopefully over time, and we're talking evolution time, we transition out of flight or fight, and we move into more of a general connectivity. We recognize this oneness between all of us, and we live according to that one mind. But right now, as our experience was purposely created for an individual experience, for a state of separation, for a state of me experience, as a reflection of my journey, sending information back to that one mind, I get to experience what it's like to be selfish. And that is a gift inherently, not judging it bad or good, but there are shadow consequences to living into fear, and that is I don't get to go and dance and play, fully enjoy in the experience of my life, of my natural state, of my calling, because I'm allowing shadow to control me instead of my gift. A dear friend of mine looked me in the eye, and he's a world-renowned coach. He looked me in the eye one day when I was in my problems, if you will. All the reasons I can't go do the thing I'm called to do. I can't live in my biggest version of self, my natural state that is calling me forward. I was sitting down, coming up with all the reasons I couldn't do that, and he looked at me dead in the eye and he says, "Devin, you desperately want to be special in your problems, but you are not special in your problems." We have a tendency to reward and coddle people going through problems. And we don't spend enough time rewarding when somebody's living in their natural state, when they're being their highest self. We don't hold and hug them when they're creating something great. We have a tendency to only nurture, hold, and hug, feel empathy towards that when they're going through a problem. But at the end of the day, the chemicals being released in our brain, and this is not to diminish anything that you have been through or experienced yourself. As many of you know, I've experienced very dark things on this planet. Loss of extremely painful experiences. However, my experience of that pain is not unique. Somebody who loses a human experiences strong amounts of pain and chemical reactions to that, and longing and wanting and desiring and wishing and blaming. That's natural. But somebody who's never lost a human, who loses their beloved pet, goes through those same chemical reactions, those same experiences of loss. I believe it's 7 stages of grieving, right? Those same 7 stages exist. When we talk about all the reasons we can't go be in our natural state, be in our biggest self, play at a level to which we know we're called to, there are 6 core basic human needs, and those basic human needs have a light and a shadow. And when we are living in the shadow side of those human needs, the need to be loved, the need to feel love, when I am not loving to myself and others, I am out of that vibration, and I think that I am absent of love. Therefore, I long for it, but I live in fear of going and getting it because I might get hurt. That's not a new experience for anybody. You don't get to be special in that. This is what he was sharing with me. I don't get to be special in that, but I do get to be special in that which I'm called to be on this planet, my natural state. If I am shining, that's where I get to be special. If I have problems on the planet, and I have, the Buddhists really point out, there is suffering. If I want to live in suffering and embrace my suffering and use that as an excuse to stay away from my light and shining in my naturalness, so be it. But everybody has suffering. Why do we get to be special? Why do we reward the specialness of our suffering? And why are we not rewarding people for shining more? More often than I've even expected on this particular Insight Timer Live, as I share my vulnerability and I share my desire to shine, I get so much love in return, and you have no idea what that means to me when I see those hearts and I see those comments. It means everything, because I have fear. Thank you for the heart. I have fear. I get nervous before jumping on here. I have no idea what's going to come out of me. All I know is I pull the card and let's see what happens. That's scary. You guys have heard me say this before. But for those that are new, I want you to know that I am not unique or special in my shadow or my problems. I am wanting and desiring to shine, and my goal is to shine as bright as I can for no other reason than to serve you and serve myself, because I am learning as this comes in and through me. Thank you for all those hearts. Risk is scary, Solomon. I agree. So the shadow of naturalness is self-obsession. It's kind of what I'm talking about here. When we focus on all the reasons we can't, that is self-obsession. When we focus on all of our problems, that is self-obsession. We all do it. It's not a big deal. If I turn around and I recognize now that I'm aware that I'm being self-obsessed and focusing on all the reasons I can't go shine, and then I start beating myself up for feeling that way, I start judging myself for being wrong and being in the wrong state of mind, then I'm just staying in that loop of self-obsession. The title before the subtitle being, in this particular case, Embracing Our Natural State, the core essence of what I want to bring into the world is this idea of stillness today, now. Finding a still mind. And what I know is the only path to stillness. The only path to natural states of being is to lighten up, to be less dense, to stop being so damn hard on myself. Because if I am hard on myself, then I judge myself and my problems, I start seeking out all of those same qualities or shadow traits in others. And equally as damaging, I start surrounding myself with people where we sit around and we don't talk about what can we create in the world, what are your gifts and how can I help you bring out your gifts. We sit around and we bond over booze and whatever else, and we bond in a state of self-obsession. Look at all the reasons I can't shine. Look at all the reasons I am in my own way. This happened to me in my past, therefore I cannot become whatever it is I'm supposed to become. No one here out of the 60 to 70 people listening right now is more guilty of this than myself. No one. Every day I have to wake up and make a choice to live in my light and to bring awareness for when I am not in my light. Thank you for all the hearts. Sending love back to you. Thank you, Richard. If I recognize as I go through my day, as we go through our day, if I feel myself in that shadow state, I feel myself wanting to be rewarded for my problems, if I experience fear, that self-obsession, the reasons I can't go live into my highest state of being, all I need to do is say, thank you, mind, because that is only of mind. That is not your natural state. It is only of mind. It is only the synapses that I have programmed over and over and over again, repeating a pattern of thinking and thought. The easiest way to break those bonds of continuous patterns is to lighten up. The best way to do that in mind is to thank your mind for being in a redundant state. I know you're trying to serve me. I know. Thank you, brain, for sharing that fear with me. Thank you, mind, for helping me see and be aware that I am stuck in this issue and that I'm not living into the calling that I know I have. Thank you, brain. And your brain goes, oh, I guess I can let go of that. And we don't get stuck in that loop and that pattern of self-destruction or self-obsession. I can assure you one of the greatest keys to unlocking your greatness is the gift of gratitude. Especially thanking that which we would call shadow, or we would call bad, or negative. Our human experience is based on duality. There is a lot more involved. There are other experiences that we can have, but without duality, we do not get joy. If we cannot experience the opposite in the absence of joy, we do not get the chemical experience of excitement if we don't have fear. If something feels tight in your body, it is simply telling you something. It is giving you a message that you are not in an open, natural state. That is a gift, because if you take the time to look at that which is creating this tension and this tightness in your body, then do the opposite. This doesn't have to be hard. I don't need to read a million books. I'll be totally transparent. You don't need to be here with me right now. I'm grateful you are. It'd be weird speaking to myself, although I need it. Thank you, Holly. I'm glad my nerdy humor cracks you up. If it feels tight, ask yourself, what is the message this is telling me? If I feel pain, if I feel tightness in my body, ask, what is this telling me? What is the gift? What is the message? And then as you hear that message of what is holding on to this tightness, find yourself in a moment of stillness. Still your mind and ask, what is in my highest and best interest right now? What is in my highest and best interest right now? And if I listen, it will tell me what direction to move in. And as I move in that direction, I might even tighten up a little bit more, because fear has a very strong grasp. But I can tell you, if you feel clenching up and tightening a little bit as you start moving in a direction that you know you're called to, that fear is just giving you a clue. We're getting closer. If I do this thing that I'm really called to do, if I feel this passion and this drive and I move in the direction of that, it's going to be scary at first, because we are embracing the unknown, as you guys have heard in other conversations. And as we embrace the unknown, there is freedom there. There is joy and passion and invigoration in the unknown. I actually want to read a part of this again. Thank you for all the love. Holly, great to see you again. Kelly, glad you're back. Look at all these amazing faces. Megan from LA, thanks for being here. You are not your thoughts, feelings, or beliefs, nor are you your looks or job description. We are not what we do. That is not your natural state. One of my favorite exercises with my clients that I get to work on, for those that are entrepreneurial, for those that are creating a business, a company, whatever it may be out there. If you're an independent contractor, you'll get this even on your career path. I'll relate this because I grew up in this world of real estate, and I watched this happen to my father, and it's a part of the reason he ended up taking his life, was because he did not separate what he was doing in the world from who he was. As he became more and more successful in real estate, his destination in his life was also how big he could get in real estate. The outcome, the quality of life, the lifestyle, the things he desired, the way he showed up in the world, the way he gave. He was a huge giver. He had combined the destination with the vehicle to get him to the destination. The vehicle being real estate, the destination being the number one realtor. He became that. Once he became that, then what? More importantly, what ended up happening was because he combined his destination, his way he wanted to shine in the world, with the vehicle, what he did to make an income. When he combined those two things, and the vehicle and the destination were the same, and when the vehicle broke in the 80s, meaning when the real estate market crashed, particularly here in Colorado, his destination, his vision for what he wanted, the life he wanted to have, his way of shining in the world completely disappeared, and he couldn't get it back because real estate, what he did, was also the place he wanted to end up. It's a huge mistake that we make in creating businesses, finding clients, our career path. You are not what you do. And one of my favorite exercises to go through with clients that I work with and leaders of the companies as they're stepping into this leadership position for companies we're building, is to get them to understand, even though I've got a vested interest, even though it's a company I have, in the four entities I have, I've made it very clear that the day you combine our company with your destination is the day I want you to stop. I want your destination to be so clear, and my hope is, as a leader, one of the ways you're getting to this destination is the vehicle we're building together, is the company we're building together. But if this company goes away, I don't want your destination to go away. I don't want how you want to shine on this planet, the lifestyle you want to have. I don't want it to go away because the company wasn't the right time or the right place or the right thing. So I work with every leader and many, many, many leaders around the world around separating their destination from their vehicle, finding the vision behind the life that they can have. And most importantly, how am I embracing that future self now, in this moment? How am I taking, regardless of what I do, finding that natural state, finding that natural essence, extracting out of me my true calling, my true vision for how I shine on this planet. Thank you, Holly. It is a great thing. It is such a powerful thing for me I love doing it. I love doing it with all that I am, to extract out their greatness and then see how this lifestyle they want to build, see how they shine, and get them to feel it here and now in this present moment. Not hope that they get there someday, but to genuinely bring it into the present moment, to feel it now as done. And then taking that version of them and applying it to the vehicle that they're driving, whatever business, whatever career, whatever they're doing, wherever they want to go with these vehicles, however they want to drive it, or should they even be driving it? Should someone else be driving it and they should be participating in a completely different way? That natural state, when applied to our careers, to our passions, to our entities that we want to create, our vehicles for doing on this planet, when that version of me is applied over here, I can drive any vehicle I want. I can create anything that I want because I am not the thing that I am doing. The minute I become the thing I'm doing, I am lost. And that's okay, but we just need to have an awareness of that. And the minute I'm aware of it, get clear on who you are and what is the destination, regardless of the vehicle I'm driving. And when I get clear on that, this vehicle can break down. I could lose any company. I could lose my investments. I can lose everything I've built, and I can start all over again because who I am and my destination was never lost. What a great experience right now as we are in this game of this economic transition. economy, stock market, real estate, blah, 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 blah. Same shit over and over and over again. We always act surprised when it happens. We know it's going to happen, and so many people are devastated because what they do is who they are. How they're making money, of all things, is their natural state. What a lie we've all been conned on. When I can find the distance between those two things, I can look at the game and I can play the game in any level of fluidity. Okay, great, stock market's going down. Take out your money and do something amazing with it. Okay, real estate's going down. Great, sell off the assets. Do something with it. I mean, it is not, what I do is not my baby. The businesses I build, they're not my baby. Man, it feels like it, but it's not. That's a horrifying analogy. To compare a living, breathing human being to a vehicle of money creation, they're not even on the same level. How can we bring more awareness to a natural state of being? How can we find our shadow, harness our shadow, see what our shadow is telling us, and come over here and play in the destination? Bring the shadow with you. Don't ignore the shadow. See what the shadow has to tell you about what it is you're ignoring. What is the self-obsession I've had over here that is really, truly just fear and a protection mechanism, keeping me out of that which I am called to be? Figure out the destination, and then as you play in the destination, as you visualize the destination, what do I mean by that? Keep it simple. For so many, we're becoming less and less attached to the materialized things we create, the home, right? I have so many people that had the giant homes and now they're loving the idea of tiny homes all over the world. Cool. It's not about how big the home is, but if I can see the home, even if it's a tiny home, and I can see the location that I desire, the acreage that I desire, if it's in a jungle or in the mountains, I can see it in my mind. And most importantly, in the step of creating and building what my lifestyle looks like, not what I'm doing to get there, what my lifestyle looks like, if I can see and visualize that, then I can step into that vision and I can feel the version of done within me. Who did I become in order to create this lifestyle that I desire? What does that version of me feel like? And when I can attach that feeling to the vision, that is the process of manifestation and creation, as you guys have heard me say before. When I can feel the state of which I am done, not done as in leaving the planet, not done as in I'm 85 and retiring. I mean the state at which I have achieved that lifestyle, and I can put myself in the vision, and I can feel, most importantly, who that version of me is. Then I can bring that feeling into the present moment and apply it to any vehicle I'm driving. I can apply it to a career, I can apply it to investments, I can apply it to a business I'm creating, I can apply it to leadership, I can apply it to, quite honestly, calling in abundance without needing to do much of anything. It doesn't mean don't take action. It means that the way we think we can make money is irrelevant when I am knowing and in a state of being abundant. It can come in all ways, as long as I am open to receiving. What's the best way to be open to receiving? Put myself in a state of which I have already received it. That's done. It's done. I already have it. If I already have it and then I bring that feeling of having it into the present moment, it shows up. It doesn't mean it shows up because I'm sitting on the couch, but I can still my mind. It helps me still my mind in not obsessing with how, not being self-obsessed with all the reasons I can't, because I've already done it. Richard, you're writing these amazing comments, and I apologize for missing them. I rarely get to catch morning sessions. Great to be here, and you've got to go. Well, thanks for being here, Richard. And thank you for your service. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I received that, brother. Let's spend a few minutes this morning playing in some silence, in some stillness, seeing what it feels like to seek out what a natural state feels like, a blessed, abundant vibration, a calling that I know I want to live into. And for some, you will sit and experience shadow creeping up. Perfect. It has a message for you. Do not be afraid of that which is shadow. It is just the opposite of light. As you've heard me say, thank goodness for the shadow side of a tree, because it is taking the burden of that beating sun off of us for a moment of stepping out of light into shade. All things have a shadow side, and all things serve a purpose. It is telling you something. Thank you, Holly, for the donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If this message at all is resonating with you, I am in a state of reciprocity and abundance myself. This helps me know that this is what I should be doing. It helps me receive so that I can give, and vice versa. I will send all the love back to you for all the abundance in the world that you can create. So thank you, Holly, for that donation. Let's spend some time in stillness. If mind creeps up, let it. If shadow creeps up, let it. Listen to it and say thank you. Be grateful for that which is shadow, so that we can learn the message in order to move into our natural state. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Hold. And release. Let's take one more of those before we move into some stillness. Be with what comes up for you. All of it is natural. No need to look for the message is there. Breathe in and listen. Exhale and listen. Thank you, mind. As you spend these last few moments in stillness, see if you can find that connection to everyone that is here in this room now. See if you can feel my love for your greatness as I connect with each and every one of you. See if you can feel my embrace for the shadow. As a fellow being on this planet called to create change, as I know each of you are, sense that oneness, for that is our greatest natural state. And breathe it in. As you come back to this time and space with me here now, wiggle your toes, your body. Tap into that root chakra and ground it into the planet. You are safe, you are secure, you are taken care of. Our planet, Gaia, ensures that you are safe and secure, ensures that she will help provide for you. If you move into this secure knowing, this root chakra groundedness, you will find ease of accessing your natural state. For there's nothing to fear because you are taken care of. And as you get grounded and as you come back to this body, open your eyes slowly. Man, I feel like I need to start making these a couple hours long. I know that would be too much, but I'm constantly going over. Thank you all for being here. Solomon, thank you for the love. Holly, thank you for the love. I am so honored to have these rooms filled with amazing people. Christine, namaste. I'm here to serve. Thank you, Solomon. I hope it comes across as wisdom. Sometimes for me it just pours through me and I'm going, okay, I hope that made sense. Thank you, Patricia. I love this. God, I love this. Oh, thank you. It's been a long time since I've been able to receive because I love pouring into others. And I'm not stopping, by the way. If you want to connect with me on any level, I had several people on Monday night reach out. They went to my bio, they went to the About section, they clicked on my website, stillness.today. It is a link. And they were sending me emails about all the things they want to create and all this stuff. And a couple people set up appointments to talk with me. If you guys want to go through the exercise, and if we get enough people, I'd love to do this on a group Zoom where maybe we can go through the exercise of accessing this powerful done state, this separation between the vehicle and the destination. Thank you, Liz. Reach out to me, send me an email if you want me to create that, and I'll get us together on a group and go through this exercise of separating these two things. It is so fun and so powerful. It serves so many of my leaders of the companies I'm blessed to have, and leaders across the world, that just when you can access this state, it brings this knowingness to your life, and you separate the I am not what I do from the vehicle. And when you can apply this knowing of done, this vibrational version of you in any now moment, man, the manifestation, the materialization that takes place is so powerful. So much to explain, so hard to explain on a single call, so hard to explain without engagement too. So if you all are interested, again, go to my bio in the About section, click on my link there. If you're on your phone, there's all kinds of ways to connect with me at the bottom, or it's got my email address. Shoot me an email. I'm an open book. I love doing this. Reach out. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for all that you are. Thank you for being here and all the places in the universe you could be. Particularly through this website, Dancing in the Stars, Dancing in Meditation, you chose to be here with us now, and for that I am eternally grateful, especially as you continue to show up. I will be back on Friday morning and then Monday evening. I switched it down to Monday evening. It was so fun. It was fun to do this on a Monday evening and get rid of those Monday blah feelings and move into the week with power and light. I am here for you. I love you. Thank you. God bless. Namaste.